Hey, welcome everyone. Tom here from Park Avenue Trading, your chief dealer, keeping you sane in these insane markets. It is Monday morning, 7:48 a.m., December 9th, 2024. Our daily analysis is coming up right now. We're going to start off with good old dollar yen because, as I said in the weekly yesterday that I put out, the dollar yen has always been the shaker and the groover, moving the crosses around. The European continentals have been quite like dead watching paint dry. Really difficult. The crosses have been swinging, which is where all the action is. Sterling yen, euro yen, Canada yen. Well, maybe not so much Canada yen, but mostly euro yen and sterling yen are the shakers and the groovers, and that's where the most volatility is for us to make some pips. Also, keep your eye on that Bitcoin. That Bitcoin is really interesting. Obviously, it's still bid, and Bitcoin is probably going. I'm just starting to analyze Bitcoin. And it's really difficult. I'm saying, wow, it's going like 125,000. Nope, probably, I don't know, within 3 months, I would think. But then again, don't take me on the cryptos. I'm not exactly really proficient in those. I'm trying to, because there's a lot of action in a lot of different coins. So please, if you guys have any coins that you're interested in, or that you see, that you watch, that you say these are like the next up and coming ones. We all want to pick the next Bitcoin, right? We all want to buy it at like zero and have it worth $4 billion at one point. So let's move on with dollar yen. So dollar yen right now, we're up by a minor resistance at 150.88. Okay, it's minor resistance right here. Really, what it has to stay above to keep showing strength is got to be above 150. I would say 17. So I'm going to put up a number. I put up the line right now. The point that it has to stay above today to continue showing strength is 150.17. So let me get a line. That's close enough, and I'll change the color. All right, so next minor resistance above the 150.88, which is attacking right now. This actually moves up to 151.33, and then they got the 151.90 right behind that. So we got resistance right here at 150.88 and 151.30 behind that, and then the 152 level above that. Now, if it breaks, if we're breaking back above like 152, we have to be suspect that the bullish leg is now like kind of starting. It hasn't turned fully bullish yet. I mean, we went down to 149.34. Last week we had it in a bearish tone, and it did fall from, I think it was, let's say, 151-ish down to 149.34. It did break the low of, that we were looking at. It just couldn't really get, enough, didn't have enough muzzle velocity to like blow through the 149 level. So it's making me a little bit suspect that maybe this is shifting gears. But just keep an eye on your 150.17 as the big point today. If it breaks 150.17, it's drifting back down towards the 149, say 65 level. And hang on a second, let me see where my line is here. I'm going to put a line. Oh, that's close. Right there. This low 1 hour bars close right there. 149.64. So that's what we got in dollar yen. Let's go over to sterling dollar. Really, here's the weekly levels that we had up that I did. Please, if you haven't seen the weekly analysis, go check it out. I said it's like, one big rectangle, and it still is. That 128, let's say 10 now, is the important point for cable. Right now, it has to stay above 127.20. That's an old point, and it's still good. I'll go to this low bars close right there. 127.18. It's got to stay above 127.18 to say that, hey, we got a potential to try to get up above 128.10. If it breaks 127.18, it's drifting back down to this really important point at 126.95. I know it's not too far away. And then we got to 126.50 below that. If it breaks 126.50, it's opening its way back up again to 125. 125.96. 125.96. All right, I'll go to 125.89. That's where a slip could occur. Now, it's still in a bearish trend. It's basically now in consolidation mode, I would call it. It's still kind of negative, but consolidation mode. And it could spring up. I mean, we have a lot of geopolitical stuff out there that could really mess us up as far as technicals are concerned. So you got to really keep one eye on like war news, All right, so let's go over to euro dollar, which is basically the same as cable. It's nowhere, nowhere land. I mean, the important point in important point in euro dollar is 106.18. We did spike a little bit above it, and then the next hour, even on the same hour, it closed below it, and then marketplace fell back down. So really is going to be resistance at 104. Actually, there's a level right here. Hang on, let me see if I can find something that's interesting. What I got is 105.10. It's got to stay above 105.10 or it's breaking. It's going back down to the 104.70. If it breaks 104.70, then we're opening up to, well, actually, I would move 70 down to 60. I would say that if we break 105.10, we got 105, 104, 60. If it breaks 104.60, it's opening its way up to 104.25. And then it breaks and goes to like the main kind of support at 103.30. 103.30. So write those down. Your interesting point today is the 105.10 and the 106, say 30 level. If it is to muster up enough steam to get above 106, 30, it's kind of saying that, okay, it's shaking off a little bit of its bearishness. It hasn't turned. It's got to break like, if you look at the weekly, it's got to get above like 110 or something like that. It's pretty far away, but it's still like cable. It's bearish, but right now consolidation, and it could switch gears. I still think that we see parity in the euro, 1-to-1 over time. Maybe even it dipped below 1, maybe back to the 95, like 35 level, 0.9535. I think it's a possibility. And, I'm keeping my eye on euro. I'm actually just looking at the crosses, through the crosses. So let's look at sterling yen. Sterling yen was really interesting. If you look at my weekly analysis, when I talk about it, I say it could potentially go back up to this 192.35 level, and we hit it. I thought there'd be support at like 190, 190.60, 68, I think I said. It went a little bit lower than that, and then it recovered. I did say that if it broke 191.35-ish, you'd have to get long for the rally up. Go check it. I said it. I said the stop would have to be at 190.68. 190. Yeah, that's what I said. It didn't break the 30 level. It did come back down and test like the open low. You get those spikes in the beginning of the day that they're not real. I mean, this 191.34 was not real. It was a quiet market that really nobody, Japan wasn't in it. I don't actually think it went there. But you could say, okay, if you want to use it and say I was wrong. Okay, great. If you bought, well, actually I said 35, but let's say you bought that, right? And I said 50, I said 68. Well, it went down to, according to this chart, went down to 68. And then I said, if it breaks this point again, that's when it's going up to 192.35. So you could have lost, 60 pips on it, but made, another 100. So net up 40. But I just saying it never really went there. So I'm not taking that as a loss, because I don't really trade the Sunday evening session. So where are we right now? Well, we're up by, upper resistance right now. 192.45. Let me put a line up there. Actually, hang on a second. I'm going to be real. It's like 192.38, which is right here. It's right here. I'll go 42. All right, right here is the upper resistance. Now, if we break this, which it looks like it's attempting to do, wow, hang on. Let me see if I can get another level here. $193. 16, and then 193. It's not 99. It's a little bit lower than 99. 193.55. Fine. Those are resistance levels. It has to hold right now in order for it to say it's continuing strength. It has to hold 192. Hang on, let me see something here. It's got to hold 191.88, which is right here. What I'm doing is I'm just going back into this leg here, like this little spike here, but I'm actually even breaking it down further. I'm looking at like my last 3 bars before, 3 or 4 bars before I topped out. I got this open, usually or this close. I like to use this close right here. 191.88 is the level it has to hold above in order to continue showing strength, that it could pop and go to 193.16 and higher. If it turns down from here, okay, we're looking back down into this lower end of the range right here, this low. This low bars close right here. Right there, 191, like 190.60. If it breaks 190.60, then it's going back down to 190, say the figure, and it opens its way back up to 188. If it breaks that, it's opening its way back up to back down to 188.50. So down here. So here's your important point of the day. It's got to hold above this. If it flips back down through this, it's going to mess around with the figure, use that as resistance, and then pop us back down. If it stays above and it keeps crawling up, and dollar yen is now making a move higher, sterling's not really doing much. It's kind of staying stable, which means that the cross is gathering momentum. Looks like we're heading towards the upper levels. We are still, I said yesterday that we are still, it's still overall bearish. Doesn't mean that but it's consolidating. And it's starting to shift gears. Remember, we're at the end of the year too. It's December 9th. Pretty soon it's going to be Christmas time and holiday. And guys that haven't made their P&L are going to do stupid things up until like the 20th of December. And then they're going to throw in a towel if they can't do it. So there could be some crazy whippy stuff going on. So right now you got to watch that 191.88 level, and your 190, I would say up to 193.56. All right, let's go over to good old euro yen. Wow. All right, so these levels I have up are still good. Let's see where we are at. Oh boy. What's this high? Yeah, this level is still good. 158.85. It needs to hold above 158.85. If it breaks 158.85, it's coming back down to 158.14. And then we got the 157.82 behind that. A break of 159.71. There is definitely resistance at 160.37, like that. Now, if it breaks 160.37, it's on its way to 161.20. So there we have everything. Real briefly for you, 17 minutes and 50 seconds. Remember, if you like what you see, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, leave some comments for me. I really appreciate the comments. It helps with the Google algorithms. And remember, always enjoy the party, but dance near the door. Cheers.